Why did my neighbor keep staring at me through his window every morning? I just moved into this quiet suburban neighborhood after my messy divorce. Fresh start, clean slate, you know? But there was this old guy next door who would literally stand at his kitchen window every single morning at exactly 7 a.m., just watching me leave for work. Every single day. At first, I figured he was just one of those nosy neighbors. Everyone's got one, right? But this was different. He'd stand there completely still, sometimes for 10 or 15 minutes straight. He'd wave occasionally, this slow, deliberate wave, but he never came outside, never introduced himself, never even nodded hello when I was getting my mail. The weird part was his yard. Absolutely immaculate, like obsessively perfect. Grass cut in precise military lines, hedges trimmed at exact 90-degree angles, not a single weed anywhere. Even his mailbox was positioned at the perfect regulation height. It looked like something straight out of a military base inspection. 3 weeks into living there, I started timing him out of pure curiosity. 7 a.m. on the dot, every single day without fail, even weekends. Even when it was pouring rain or snowing, he'd just stand there at that window, coffee mug in hand, watching me back out of my driveway. My coworkers thought I was completely losing it when I told them about this routine. Maybe he's casing your house, planning to rob you, Sarah joked during our lunch break. Or maybe he's just lonely, Mike suggested. But there was something in his eyes whenever I caught him looking, not menacing or creepy, more like longing, like he was searching for something he'd lost. I started getting paranoid about it. Was I doing something wrong? Was my music too loud in the mornings? Was I blocking his view somehow? The whole thing was making me weirdly self-conscious about my daily routine. One Tuesday morning, I'm running super late for this absolutely crucial client presentation that could make or break my quarter. Of course, that's exactly when my piece of junk Honda decides to completely die on me. Won't even turn over. Dead silence. I'm sitting there frantically turning the key, checking my phone, knowing I'm about to lose this major account if I don't get moving. Then there's this gentle knock on my passenger side window. It's him, standing there in a faded red flannel shirt and worn jeans, holding a set of professional grade jumper cables like he'd been waiting his entire life for this exact moment to help someone. Looks like you could use some help there, son. His voice was gravelly but incredibly soft. There was this slight tremor to it, like he hadn't used it much lately or like he was nervous about approaching me. As he's methodically popping both our hoods and connecting the cables with practiced precision, I noticed this faded marine tattoo on his weathered forearm, the exact same eagle, globe, and anchor design that my own father had gotten after Vietnam. You know, he says quietly, not looking up from the engine, carefully avoiding eye contact, you remind me of someone very important to me. That's when I spot it. There's this worn photograph carefully taped inside his red toolbox lid. A young Marine in full dress blues, probably early 20s, standing proud and tall. Same dark hair as me, same general build, same unconscious way of standing with his shoulders pulled back and spine straight. Lost my boy overseas exactly 3 years ago this month, he says quietly, still not meeting my eyes, his hands working steadily on the cables. IED explosion in Afghanistan. He used to leave for his job at the Marine base every morning at precisely 7 a.m. sharp. Exact same time you head out for work. My car suddenly roars to life. I just sit there for a long moment, engine running, completely speechless, not sure what to say or how to respond to something so heartbreaking. He closes his toolbox slowly, deliberately, like he's done this ritual 1,000 times before. Then he looks directly at me for the very first time since I'd moved in. Maybe tomorrow morning, when you see me standing at that window, maybe you could wave back to me. His voice cracks just a little on those last few words, and I can see his eyes getting watery. That's when it hit me like a freight train. He wasn't some creepy neighbor watching me suspiciously. He was just a grieving father who'd found the closest thing to his lost son he'd ever see again. And for 3 solid weeks, I'd been driving away every single morning without even acknowledging his presence or his pain. The next morning, I waved first, and I've been waving first ever since.